politics and also, their impact on our continent. And, as always, aka your girl, and Lux, and Family Reaction, and I'm always with the best, Umajabula, Ujabuja, I'm with Umajabula. But before Mr. Jabs could talk, we're not alone. We also have the fabulous, the one and only, Nozuko, man. We're not go to VMC Talk, man. We always come with the most, the best.
The most and the best.
Definitely.
That's what's up. How are you guys doing?
I'm blessed. I'm always blessed, man.
Yeah. Love
Yes. Hey, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I just got blessed before the show. With something special for the first time, Hey, but nevertheless, listeners, welcome to VMC Planet Radio. We are still coming to you live from the Johannesburg Stadium, and this is the one and only Mr. Jebs Jabulani, mfano wa luyo male.
Halal.
Definitely, listeners at home. And now the time, it is exactly 20 minutes past the hour, 1 o'clock. And if you just tuned in, Kululega, man, you have not missed much. But, if you went to Ukfaku Vulwako now, you can dial that number 071-560-0639 and, Sizoku Pentula.
Exactly, because today we have a special
co-host.
Amen. Before we go far, we have to introduce her and allow her to introduce her.
And tell the listeners go to
Yes. Oh, how you doing? To the listeners of VMC Talk, I hope everybody is doing great. First of all, Zimfly, happy Friday. We're ending the week on a high note.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Doing new things. My name is Nozuko. Umantangase intombi sayiti. I rap 039 all day, every day. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so excited to co-host with you guys. This is my first time ever as a co-host. And this is a start of a very important journey that we're still going to get to discuss much later in the show.
Hey, we are so blessed, man. For the first time, it's for the first time. So there's no way that you cannot feel blessed.
You're part of history.
Exactly.
We're making history.
Yeah, they have to put our name there on Wikipedia.
Yeah, part of the people who made history, definitely. And listeners at home, with that one show where we tackle the issues now that people are afraid to touch on. Because now in the past week, you've seen Guti, our president, Ramaphosa, Cupcake, has spoken to the US President Donald Trump. Now they come up, that agreement, we took man. Let's make an effort. Man, this relationship in attention.
Yes, shaking.
It's tricky.
The vibes are off.
And also it wasn't that wasn't just enough. Yesterday, we had the president of Ukraine. He visited Pretoria at the Union Building. And, for us, people had questioned, what is our president intending to do? Because now, the Zelensky, Ukraine, it's known as the enemy of Russia. So now, when Mauleta, while we're friends with Russia, what are your intentions?
But then us here in South Africa that we always play the middleman. We are for peace. Us, we are the Madiba kids. So for me, it definitely does sort of make sense with everything that's happening for South Africa also to bring the president of Ukraine closer, especially after that meeting that happened in the White House.
The White House.
I think it's a good move from Ramaphosa to allow that to happen. Especially with the tension between Trump.
Definitely, because yesterday I was with a call with my mom, and she was asking Guti Mara, Ramaphosa ufuna ukusibona sikuwo or njani. I was like, Mama, let's look at this maybe in a political point of view.
Of course.
Yes, and also not only the political. Maybe, Ramaphosa, one thing I've realized with our president is that he's a businessman.
Yeah.
He in our country, in it's the economy, the business.
Yes,
so I feel like the strategy, it's now a strategic strategy point maybe in a way after we might benefit
economically somehow. And I think just like him having a stunt, because one of my challenges as a citizen was the fact that he's not playing any move. The game is here, but he's not playing the move. So I'm glad that he's putting a step forward and he's playing something. So now it's just for us to check where this is going to take us, especially since the economy is already a problem.
Hey, that's one of the things that we have to always take into consideration, you know. Like I highlighted is that we are in allies with Russia, right?
Yes.
And we know that we have been having this ally for a very long time, you know, since during the times of apartheid up until today. So that's one of the things that we also have to take into account before we actually invite individuals or public figures like Mr.
Zelensky.
Exactly.
But you know, I had this, you know, it's a shocking rumor that I had. Apparently, Trump and who's that? Putin.
Yes.
They're friends.
Yes.
They form a friendship.
Yes, they have.
How? When USA and Russia are sought to be enemies.
Well, that one is a good theory, you know. And a good question to actually ask in this situation. Because I remember when Joe Biden was still in the White House, right? There was a lot of tension going on between US and Russia. And there was a possible outcomes of even war during that time. So during his campaign, I have had Trump highlight some of these things to actually say that put me in the White House, this matter of Ukraine and Russia will be sorted within no time. So it's not surprising to actually realize or to come to realization to say, man, Trump and Putin, they're actually friends.
But now my question is, when I ask your friend, let's say you Russia, no, I'm South Africa. You Russia, and Nozuko,
I'm Ukraine.
Ukraine.
I'll take Ukraine.
Ukraine, right? Using as Ukraine, using the tension between USA and SA, your two alliance, your two friends. Why don't you become the mediator and be the middleman and say, hey, I was well in South Africa, hey.
Well, that one is very tricky with the moves that South Africa has been making. Yes, because you know they have taken what? They have taken the issue of Israel to where? To court.
To court.
Yes. So now with all those issues uncovering, and then South Africa comes in again with the new policy that they've just implemented for the Land Appropriation Act, right? Then they become a thing of business of interest, you know, from Trump and also his best buddy now, Elon Musk. So, so that's one of the issues that we cannot ignore.
But
you know?
I also want to get to the point as to what went wrong, because now if we go back, the United States is, you know, South Africa's second biggest trading partner. That is something has been happening. But since, you know, Donald Trump returned to the office in January, the tone between those two countries now has shifted drastically.
It's not only, this thing has been brewing since 2018, because we have to understand that AfriForum has been on a mission for some time. And I think also we are seeing the results of their campaign that started back in 2018 when actually Trump tweeted for the first time that there's a genocide in South Africa. So I think it's that just brewing and now just exposing in our faces currently because of what AfriForum is doing, and they're getting closer and closer and closer to Trump.
When I still to this say, I'm asking myself, what is like the AfriForum? What is their purpose? What are they aiming at? Because now this thing of going out, bro, to say the whites are being abused.
But would you say Bakamba Manga, just to play the devil's advocate? Oh, I hope this is not too risky.
Okay.
I mean, maybe let's actually talk about the policy that's making them uncomfortable. I'm curious. You know what I mean? I'm curious. Let's actually talk about it. What does it entails, and what are these things that are making them so uncomfortable that they are going on a campaign? It can't only just be a race thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I think we have highlighted one of the days during the week. to actually say that, man, we can actually say everything that, man, maybe there's a genocide. Maybe white people are actually going through something that we are not paying attention to.
Yeah, maybe we're not paying attention to something. Yeah, you're right.
You see. Then it comes back to what you have highlighted to say that how are they benefiting, the US? How is it benefiting when the land is being attained by a certain group of people? We have to go back to that. How are they benefiting in this situation?
The main issue, it's the land expropriation. That's the main issue. Shoguti,
without compensation.
They might be gaining something. And if now this law is to be, implemented and I think it's so.
Yeah, because this war is also supported by this other act of the BEE, right? Because now we are empowering and
the black people, those who are disadvantaged.
Exactly.
Especially.
So to put so much, it seems like these policies, they are fighting a war that we are not paying attention to. Because they are fighting the system that has been oppressing us for a very long time.
Many times.
Yeah. So now to have policies that are coming in, because all of us were like, Mr. President, you have arrived in the office.
What are you doing?
Exactly. You have been quiet for a very long time. What's going on?
Definitely.
Kanti Ramaphosa has something.
He has a plan.
You see?
And
Exactly.
nonetheless, listeners at home, now the time it is exactly 30 minutes past the hour, 1 o'clock, and we'll be coming in with your news headline from Unolwazi Xaba. So please stay tuned because we're coming in with more fire,
VMC Planet News.
Ngiyafunda. Sawubona mlaleli, ngingunolwazi Xaba, ngizokuthulela izindaba ezihamba phambili kwihora lokuqala nemizuzu engama-30. Mlaleli ligamenxe ihora lokuqala. Izindaba ezihamba phambili kuleli hora eVMC Planet Radio. I-Economic Freedom Fighters icela ugodongwana uDG womgcini mafa asuke esikhundleni. I-Democratic Alliance ifuna uthishanhloko athathelwe izinyathelo ngezinsolo zokujezisa ngesihluku umfundi. Mlaleli ngizibeka lapha izindaba ebezihamba phambili kuleli hora. Ngizobuya nezindaba ezigcwele makubumbana ihora lesibili.
VMC Planet News.
Jezisa umfundi ngesihluku. Sawubona mlaleli, ngingunolwazi Xaba, ngizokuthulela izindaba zehora lesibili eVMC Planet Radio. Mlaleli libumbene ihora lesibili. I-Economic Freedom Fighters eyaziwa ngele EFF isamile ekutheni ungqongqoshe wezezimali uEnogodongwana kumele asuke esikhundleni imsola ngokubeka engcupheni ukuzinza komnotho wezwe. Lokho kuza ngemuva kokuhlehliswa kodaba lokunyuswa kwentela eyengeziwe ngamaphesenti angamasenti amahlanu. Obekumele kuqale ukusebenza ngoNhlaba ngosuku lokuqala. I-EFF naye ifuna asuke esikhundleni umqondisi jikelele womgcini mafa kuzwelonke uDr Duncan Peters. Umcwaningi omkhulu weqembu uDr Kumani Chimomola uthi ugodongwana wephula imibandelo yomthetho wokuphatha kwezezimali zomphakathi ngesikhathi ehlulela ukwethula isabelo mali ngaphambi kokuphela konyaka wezezimali. Uchimomola uthi isabelo mali siyithuluzi likahulumeni elibaluleke kangaka lokuqinisekisa ukuthi kukhona ukuqhubeka kokulethwa kwezidingo kukhona isiqinisekiso emnothweni nasezimakethe. Osomabhizinisi bayayazi into ababhekene nayo kodwa kulokhu ungqongqoshe kanye no-DG womgcini mafakaze lonke uDuncan abakwazi ukwethula isabelo mali esethembekile esikholekayo kanye nesabelo mali esizothola kuvumelana ePhalamende likazwelonke phecelezi ENA kanye nomkhandlu kazwelonke wesifundazwe owaziwa ngele NCOP. Uyanezezela sithi akasuke esikhundleni njengoba isimo sinje iningizimu Afrika ayinaso isabelo mali esiphambi kwePhalamende esingasihlaziya siphenye sivume noma siphikise ngoba uhoxise yonke into ebeyibeke ezithebeni ngaphandle kohlaka lwezimali obeluvelelwa amukelwe futhi siyaliphonsela inselelo enkantolo. I-Democratic Alliance eyaziwa ngele DA esifundazweni saseGauteng ifuna athathelwe izinyathelo uthishanhloko waseMadison High School eHammanskraal enyakatho nePitoli ngezinsolo zokusebenzisa isijeziso sokushaya abafundi. Leli qembu lisigxekile isinqumo somnyango wezemfundo sokudlulisela uthishanhloko ehhovisi lesifunda njengesijeziso lathi asanele leso sijeziso. Ungqongqoshe wezemfundo we-DA eGauteng uSergio Isados Santos ugcizelele ukuthi isenzo okuthiwa siphambene nomthetho-sisekelo siphakamisa ukukhathazeka ngokungaguquki komnyango wezemfundo ekusingatheni amacala afuzelesi. Sizothumela imibuzo esemthethweni kungqongqoshe uCharlan esishayamthetho futhi sizovakashela isikole ngokwethu. Kungabi nomthetho okuyohlala kuvikelwa ukuthi uma kwenzeka into embi kangaka impendulo kumele isheshe futhi iqine. Siphinde sincoma abafundi abanesibindi abaphumela obala ngoba ukukhuluma kusiza ukuvikela abanye abafundi. Izindaba ebezihamba phambili kuleli horror. I-Economic Freedom Fighters icela ugodongwana uDG womgcini mafa asuke esikhundleni. I-Democratic Alliance ifuna uthishanhloko athathelwe izinyathelo ngezinsolo zokujezisa umfundi ngesihluku. Mlaleli ngisiqoqisa lapha izindaba zehora lesibili e-VMC Planet Radio busithulelwa nguNolwazi Xaba.
Welcome back to all the listeners of VMC Planet Radio Beyond Tomorrow. You're still tuning to your very own show, the best in the country, the best in the world, the VMC Talk, the most informative and educational talk show in the world.
Definitely. You forgot to say good, the one that, is able to
spark the mind.
Definitely.
Yes,
How do you forget that one?
There's no way I can forget that one. You know that we are here at Johannesburg, here at the Johannesburg Stadium. As you know, of the Lions. Yes. Here at the Johannesburg, the homes of the Lions. I hope you have been listening to us since the very first hour, 1 o'clock. Because we are from 1 o'clock up until 3, and on the first hour, we have highlighted some of the critical issues that have been happening in the country and also at the global stage, in the political space and also in the economical space. But nevertheless, you are still going to be with us up until 3 o'clock. But now, yeah. Because now you know that it's that time, as we have mentioned to you listeners, that today we had our very own guest co-host, Miss Nozuko Changaze, because I'm even for myself, there's no way that you cannot know the amazing Nozuko. I won't lie. And even the first time when I saw her in the studio, I was starstruck,
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't seem like it.
That's how I am. I become quiet and I act clueless, Exactly. So, but nevertheless, Ayanda, you know that our very own Nozuko Changaze, she has been in our screen. She has been amazing, man. And all the roles that we know her for, they've been impactful. Every person that you can meet on the street and ask her about Nozuko Changaze, will highlight all of them or maybe at least 2 of them.
There's no way. But I feel like there is that one show where she, she took stage, she came out and showed us.
But for me, I can tell you that from all the roles that I've seen her on the screen, they are very impactful. They're the ones with her talent. They click together and there's no way you cannot remember that.
Definitely.
They stay in your mind for a very long time. That's why I'm sure that even when she go out to the malls and whatnot, they will say, oh, it's Mang Mang from where? Because of how impactful her roles were, Yes. But nevertheless, listeners, it's that time, as she moves away from being the co-host To the what?
to the guests.
Being the guest.
Listeners at home need to, know more about her,
Yeah.
And also with the surprise that is coming. I'm not sure if it's my place or her place to say it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
give it,
yeah.
to her, Her
Yeah.
Majesty, she'll tell us, but because now for listeners at home, and all that, and with the question that we'll be asking her, we'll give you guys a bit of a clue.
Yeah.
Ukuthi, uzabe ayenza yiphi show, and if you're truly listening, if you're paying attention, like we said,
Yeah.
the first hour, we must pay attention to things. So if you will be paying attention to the questions and her answers,
Yes, yes, yes.
But now I want us to start from eqaleni, Tell us ukuthi uNozuko man bantshangase wakuphi isukela this thing ukuthi for me ukuthi ngingene ku media.
Yeah.
In the media space, isukelaphi?
Yes, because you have become a very big a symbol to the public. You have become a role model to many. Yeah.
You guys have said beautiful things about me. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so good to just take all of that in and hear it from someone else because when you are the one creating, you really don't experience the magic as much as other people see it. I mean, especially the final product. Yes, you go through the process, but you don't get to see the final product. You can't see yourself when you perform.
Yes,
so it's so good to hear that. So when I introduced myself, Mlaleli, you did hear that I said, Nozuko, Umanchangase, Intombi, Yales.
Yeah.
I am from the South Coast, which is the south of KwaZulu-Natal in Potchefstroom. I'm from a small location, Ekasi, called Ekamalake, and I was raised in Emakokokweni. That's why I say I rap 039 all day, every day. I take a lot of pride of where I come from. I believe that I was made by my community. That's because I come from a background of community theater. To answer your question, where did it all begin? I think obviously just the idea or the seed. It was a teacher at school who asked me what it is that I would like to do, and I had been doing really good in art and culture projects. Then I was like, I really relate with this performance thing, so I'd like to do it. But where my education then started was through community theater, and I joined a community group called Emuhle All Artist. A very amazing man decided that he took it upon himself that he's going to empower the youth through the arts, through music, through acting, and just through even self-mastery, because it's not only art that he was teaching us, but he was also just like raising our mindset and helping us gain our confidence and grow into ourselves. So that's where it started, and that's how I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's powerful. And I'm sure you heard it here first, from our very own, But there's one thing that I've come across of, since you have mentioned that, like I said, you have become a role model for many. And to highlight that you were not formally trained, but you were what? You were trained through a community theater, So in that, or maybe in that space, and also the culture of what you went through, when you come to the industry, how was it, diverting from the community theater and now to the big screens?
So there's twofold to it, because there's the career part of it, of which it was so beautiful for me. I think I transitioned seamlessly into the television industry. And I always say when I say this that I'm so grateful for the production house that welcomed me into the industry, because they are a home for young people. Therefore, they know how to treat young people, how to induct them into the industry. And for me, that's what happened. I had a workshop, and there were older people who were willing to talk to me. Abu Mamshoki, at Skim Sam, Abu Putla. They were willing to have the uncomfortable conversations of you in Joburg now. So you do this and this is going to happen.
Exactly.
And also to really make sure that they encourage us to put the craft first.
Yes,
Put
yes,
the
yes.
art first. I mean, these people that I'm mentioning are really people that you see that they've sustained their career for a very long time.
Exactly.
Their acting careers and they're doing amazing even today, and they stay on top of their game. So
Yeah.
that was the education and the culture that they instilled in me in my career.
Mm.
But as a girl from a small town coming to the big city of Johannesburg,
Yeah.
we can laugh about that.
Okay, okay.
I fell flat on my face.
Yeah.
Flat on my face.
Eish.
You know, obviously I did come with a bit of mental illnesses and emotional challenges and a bit of trauma that I hadn't worked on, and I didn't have a clear vision of once you get the job, what is it that you do after that? Because as artists, we're all like, I want to get the job. I want to
Yes,
be a metro
yes,
and
yes,
be the
yes.
best radio
That's
DJ.
true.
And then what? Now you get it, and then do you have a vision on how to maintain it, on how to sustain it? What's going to happen after that? So because I didn't have that vision, I didn't have a strong foundation, I really struggled personally through depression, through anxiety, and just through finding myself and also like through handling my finances. Because if you're coming from a small town, from a family that's not used to being financially free,
Yeah.
you don't have financial literacy, you know, and now you don't have financial literacy, and now you have to find your way in the workforce and make it work, and you're like, oh my god. So yeah, so that's. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I'm answered on that one. Yeah.
Also, I like the point that you mentioned, Uguti, as a person, you know, at home they don't teach you about financial literacy.
That's
One thing
true.
at home they make sure when you've and in a way sort of made it in life. The one thing they'll teach you, Uguti, imala ibuye kai.
Yeah.
That's the only
But imali ekhaya, you must take care of home. But also another thing that you don't really get like trained into is the fact that now you have to be an adult in the family. You were so used to being a kid and asking, and now because of your financial bracket, you automatically become the leader.
Yeah.
And how do you handle that?
Yeah. That's too much
so
pressure also.
So that was that.
I'm sure that I'm glad to hear that you were able to go through all the things that you went through and you remain strong and you are still standing today, you know. And that's one of the most powerful things, because we have seen you from the likes of Skim Sami, the scandals, you know, up until to the deep cities, you know, which is amazing. But before, you know, we lose time, we just want to talk a little bit about our very own show that you're going to be doing here at VMC Planet Radio.
But before the show, I have the question with regards to the show as to, because what the show is all about. I mean, I have this one question as to what led you to this part of spirituality. Like, what made you to say, okay, I mean, I'm a spiritual person. This is,
It's the journey of becoming. So like I said that personally I went through certain challenges which was quite a dark time, but it was a time that was leading me to finding the answers. It's the circles of life, you know. When I went through depression and anxiety, I had to go through a healing journey, and that healing journey then introduced me to spirituality, to self-mastery, and to the journey of healing. I mean, as a Black African child, I've also went through a journey of decolonizing what I think about spirituality and about God, because I needed to come back to myself, to find myself, to ground myself again. Because here in Joburg, it's so easy to just go with the wind. You know what I mean? So it's very important to have a spiritual foundation. So that's how I connected with my spirituality. But it's not only spirituality; it's just the world of wellness. It's really just the idea of teaching consciousness, the idea of teaching healing, and the idea of us becoming and coming back to ourselves.
Yes.
But okay, now please tell us about the show.
Yes, Oh, what an honor. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to tell you about this amazing show. We deserve glasses because this is a cheers moment. Yes, because on Sunday we are going to be doing Sunday Laksa for the first time with your amazing host, Nozuko Umantangase. And let me tell you, it's not just a radio show. This is a ritual for your soul. It is time for you to connect with yourself, a time for you to rise, a time for you to just we go through so much during the week, and by the time Sunday comes, you are trying to catch yourself and prepare for the new week. So you need that time to reflect, but also to make sure that you connect with who you really are, you connect with your vision, so that the next week you make sure that you hear it in the head. So that's really what we're going to be doing. It's about self-mastery, it's about spirituality, it's about great and soft music. I'll make sure of that. One thing about me is that I love music. So it's going to be a very beautiful experience of healing.
Yes. I'm definitely going to be listening,
but
man.
But we need the time. You listen and The time, Mom. What time does it start?
What time does it start? Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. I thought you were saying he doesn't have time.
No.
The time. So the show starts at 3:00 and it ends at 6:00.
Then afternoon drive.
Yes, it is afternoon on a Sunday. So as you can see, that time slot is really that time where I want you to take out your journals, where I want you to take out your meditation pillows, where I just want you to breathe into yourself.
And ma'am, please, the name of the show again for the listeners at home.
Sunday Lux.
Yes, listeners at home.
That's how you say it. It's Sunday Lux.
Please tune in to
Sunday
Lux on Sunday from 3 to 6 each and every Sunday here at VMC Planet Radio. Clean your soul, cleanse your soul, man. With the new.
You must assess yourself, because the moment you're explaining about spirituality, I was interested only to hear more, So definitely I'm going to be listening every Sunday from 3:00 up until 6:00.
And prepare your journal.
I do.
You
have
must
one.
come ready to work. I'm a life coach, and we're going to be doing real work.
Definitely, listeners at home. I hope you did catch that. She's a life coach and an actress. She's a whole lot of things. Hey, but nonetheless, listeners at home. Now the time it is exactly 29 minutes to the hour, 3:00, and we're coming in with your news. Headline from Unolwazi Xaba, so please stay tuned.
Lesibili izindaba ezihamba phambili kuleli hora eVMC Planet Radio. Izakhamuzi zaKwaZulu Natal yonkana zinxuswa ukuthi ziqaphele uma kunezihibe zemvula. Umfana oneminyaka e18 udlwengule umama wakhe omzalayo oneminyaka engama-33 ubudala. Mlaleli ngisibeka lapha izindaba ebezihamba phambili kuleli hora. Ngizobuya nezindaba ezigcwele makubumbana ihora lesithathu.